Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which I'm gonna introduce you to the new 9.6 update premiums that Wargaming is currently cooking. Not necessarily things that you are gonna see in the game as purchasable directly, but rather something that goes into test. Some of them are cool and some of them are extremely weird, which makes this review quite fun. Let's start with the most interesting one in my opinion, the 5916, a tier 6 light premium Chinese tank. Basically, what makes this tank interesting is what Wargaming is going to do with it, because if you focus only on the gun, you see that the DPM is quite nice for tier 6, 1.7 thousand, with a reload time of 5.3 seconds, and the regular penetration at 138, or with your gold shell, 194, with 150 alpha damage. But I remember back in the days when I was still playing World of Tanks PC, we had access to that tank that was a Tech Tree 1 and not necessarily a premium. And basically, you had the choice between a regular gun, so the one you are currently seeing on screen right now, at least the statistics of it, and another one that was an autoloader that worked a little bit like the one we have on the MT25 in World of Tanks Blitz. Something that has 2 or 3 shots that can be all shot in less than 2 seconds, meaning that it was kind of an hybrid between a regular gun and an autoloader, and it was quite hilarious to just have this machine gun running around. If you want to taste at what the 5916 would be capable of using the autoloader gun if Wargaming adds it, as I told you, it's basically the MT25. What I really love about this tank and why I enriched it at first is because it's just hilarious to be able to snap all those shells within a short amount of time. In my opinion, it's one of the few tanks that really has an original gameplay that makes you come back from time to time in order to have some fun when you're getting bored of the regular, totally broken tanks that we already are aware of, like the Concept 1B and its impenetrable turret. What else do we have? The Stredzvan K and its amazing mobility and gun, etc, etc. So yeah, it's definitely worth taking a look at it, and even if it's not necessarily an autoloader, judging by the statistics, it could be quite an interesting pick. Because when we take a look at the other statistics, the tank is definitely worth it. For the gun turn limit, it's a little bit bad, specifically on the gun depression, that is only 5 degrees, but for the rest, the top speed is very nice, and your armor is not existent due to the fact that you're a light tank. Now it's time for us to talk about another tier 6 that is one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. At first, when I saw that, I was thinking, are you on drugs, Wargaming? Because obviously, this, at least on aesthetic, really looks uncommon. It seems like it's equipped with a turret of a Chaffee and the hull of that American tier 4 that I forgot the name of. Sorry, American tier 3, the M2 Medium. Even if the hull is obviously going to be better, at least we hope, on this new tier 6 American tank. To be fair with you, when I first saw the tank, I tried to see if it was something already existing, and I didn't find a trace of it, which means that it's probably something totally new into the game, and it's nice to see that Wargaming is not necessarily only copy-pasting tanks from World of Tanks PC. As we know nothing about it, my assumption is going to be that this is a new tier 6 American tank. So we are going to try to see how this thing would react in tier 6. When it comes to the ratio, gun, and maneuverability, I'm expecting this thing to be a heavy tank. I might be wrong, and I think that there are some stuff that need to be reworked if it's the case, because when you take a look at the Chaffee turret, which is the turret of a light tank, it doesn't seem to be quite impressive at first. When you take a look at the main armor, you see that the turret as the front is at 100 millimeters and the sides 70 and the hull 90 millimeter. Of course, as it's angled, it seems like it's probably going to be able to handle a couple of shots as long as it's from low tiers or from people using stock guns without gold shell, which means that not so many people are gonna bounce you. In my opinion, this is going to be dog shit. Let's say it's straight, but I might be wrong. The only cool thing, or what seems to be cool at first about this tank, is the 10 degrees of gun depression, but as we take a look at it, it seems to be quite high, which means that artificially those 10 degrees of gun depression are gonna feel on the battlefield probably like 6 or 7 degrees, which is definitely not enough considering it's an American tank to do the job. job. Now, one bright side, the maneuverability, top speed being 41 kilometers per hour, which means that you can go to places fast, and at the same time, your average damage per shot is quite high considering it's a tier 6, 240, for a total DPM that sucks, sitting at 1.6k. So yeah, not something to look forward to. Talking about things that you want to look forward to, let's talk about a tier 9 American premium that I don't have the name of, which seems to be the T-54E2 upgraded version, straight to be ready to battle at tier 9. It's a heavy tank. It's a great tank that features great values of DPM. As you can see, the damage per minute is close to 2,500 with a reload time of 9.8 seconds, and all of that without any equipments, which means that you can probably drop it to 9.1 seconds for a total DPM of 2,700. If you have 2,700 with a heavy tank that sits at 400 alpha damage per shot, let me tell you that it will do the job. Of course, in order for it to be counterbalanced, it seems like Wargaming decided to attack the gun precision, because your gun dispersion is at 0.34. But at the same time, if you equip your tank properly with the right equipments, you can lower down this and this at the same time. Now, 7 degrees of gun depression will do the job, because unlike the previous horrible thing we saw right there, this one is closer to the ground, which means that the 7 degrees of gun depression here are probably gonna feel like 10. Top speed 36 kilometers per hour, which is not that much. It's probably going to be another downside of the tank, but I'm definitely hyped for it, because when you take a look at the values specifically on the turret, it's definitely something to put in hull down like your traditional heavy tank. We know that right now we are in a hull down meta, and this tank will fit perfectly in this role. We don't know yet when all of the tanks we talked about here are going to be released. All we know is that the tests are beginning in 9.6. So hopefully, guys, you enjoyed. If that's the case, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. I will try to stream at least one time this week. I don't know yet when, because now that I'm working really hard, it's either I don't have time at night to stream or I'm just too tired, but do not worry, we are gonna find a way or another. What else could I tell you? For the 9.6 update, I saw a comment asking me what is going to be the price of the new grill camo. It's going to be 5,000 gold, and it seems like Wargaming is truly impacted by inflation, because I remember the good old days where with 4,000 gold, you literally had an attachment and a legendary camo, but it seems like those days are past us, unfortunately. At the same time, I'm looking forward to either play World of Tanks PC or try another tank game. I know that those are not necessarily quite hyped among my community, but I just want to try something different, even if it means making less views. I kind of don't care at this point now that I'm working, and as long as you guys are filling it with me, no problem. I'm not gonna leave you in rest, because we are gonna talk about the new features of 9.6 and some things that we want to change probably tomorrow or Friday. We will see. And waiting for that, I'm gonna tell you, hope you are all well. Once again, Happy New Year, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.